Hello everyone, Captain Puppy here. This week we're gonna talk about the state of Enshrouded, how the game is looking, and what we think is like a proper review for the early access state of the game. So this review will focus more on general things, but we'll go topic by topic. You can use the timestamps below to jump between things. So without further ado, let's go. In terms of general gameplay, the game feels good, at least I like it. It feels fluid, it has a lot of decent mechanics. The crafting mechanics are pretty interesting in my opinion. Some of the things, although, from what I'm seeing, are a little bit grindy. A lot of people are complaining that some items, especially building items, later on cost a lot and makes the game a little bit grindy, but well, a lot of people in these kinds of survival games, me included, sometimes like that extra grind, but most probably I assume they will somehow someday introduce like a free mode or a free building mode, or someone will create it where you just can get unlimited blocks and build as probably already exists, and I just don't know it, but yeah. So other than that, the game seems pretty in terms of general gameplay. The game is fun. The gameplay seems fluid enough. The game seems fluid. I've been liking it, and I see that a lot of people in the survival gaming community have been liking it so far. In terms of general mechanics, like building, the game is at its peak. It is focused. It's a voxel-based game. So this means that you can just build block by block or bit by bit, and you have an extra layer of personalizing everything you want, so you can build things with different kinds of materials that you unblock playing the game and involving in the story, or gathering new kinds of materials, raw materials in this case. And yeah, so you can build whatever you desire. You can build a big house, a small house, you can detail it as much as you want. You have props that some of them you can interact with them, that gives that extra depth in terms of the building and the personalization of the game, and the game on that excels in my opinion. It is one, if not one of the best games I've seen doing this, at least on an early access state. Of course, we expect that new things to be added to the game and to even build up in depth that system. In terms of crafting, as we already stated, the game sometimes seems a little bit grindy, but well, it is what it is. It's a survival game. Sometimes survival games need to be grindy, so you don't get everything at once, but for sure they will try to fix that later on. In terms of combat, the game is pretty fluid. I've been liking it so far. The combat is pretty fluid. You have lots of different weapons with different kinds of status to it. You have some legendaries that you can find. We already have actually not a legendary, but a mythical one, I believe. So yeah, the game seems pretty fine in terms of combat. The game it's looking good. In terms of fighting, you can fight with ranged weapons, you can fight with melee weapons, you can defend yourself. In terms of armors, you have all different types of armors that boost your different type of playstyle. If you are playing like more of a wizard's fellow, you can craft a wizard's base armor that will give you magical protections and all those kinds of stuff. You can also build like a ranger armor, which will give you like more stealth, things like that. And then you have, of course, the melee guy armor, which would be heavier, but it will give you extra melee defense against enemies. This even broadens the way you can develop your character. In terms of character development, we haven't had like a deep dive on it yet. We are focusing more on our let's play on a melee fighter, but it seems to be branchable enough. It seems that you can create multiple sub classes, let's put it like that. It's just a question of character development. We haven't progressed a lot in the game so far, so for sure there are people that are farther in that field that can have different opinions and that can give you different ideas. But for me, as to have that possibility to mold your character to the things you want him to do, it seems pretty interesting, and it's a pretty interesting mechanic for a survival game. Then we have the state of the game in terms of playability. So the game as of now is more than playable in my opinion. So far, by the time of this video, they have released 7 hotfixes, some of them to fix bugs, others to give more performance to the game and stability. It's becoming clear to me, at least at the rate that these hotfixes are coming out, that the developers are really focusing on the game, they are really interested on the game, and they are listening a little bit to the community so far, and they are trying to make the game as playable as possible, even for an early access game. I know that some people have been having issues to play the game, but well, guys, it's an early access game. You need to take your time. It's the price we pay for playing an early access game. Of course, the game needs to be playable, but some issues are to be expected since it's an early access game, and these some people sometimes don't understand. I know that this sometimes is a focus that people don't get, but it is what it is. It's an early access game, guys. You need to just calm down, wait a little bit. If you cannot play the game, for sure the developers will improve on this. It will improve on the performance, will improve on the game, and that for sure is gonna be something that they will do. At least so far, they seem willing to do it. They are sending out hotfixes super fast for these kind of things. So yeah. Furthermore, the month of January ended with over 1 million players. So this is massive. Games like this that stand out of the crowd from developer companies that are less known, let's put it like that. I know that they had a game before, but to my knowledge, I didn't know them before Enshrouded. So it seems that this game is becoming massive. Probably it's being a little bit overlooked because of other survival games that are out there. You guys know what I'm talking about, Pal World, for example. But nevertheless, having 1 million players playing the game, it's pretty interesting, and it needs a statement to the state of the game and how the game is looking. In terms of graphical design, the game has some like funny graphics. I like it, these kinds of things. I'm not that guy that likes those kinds of uber realistic graphics that some people love to have in games. I'm not that kind of guy. I like this kind of guy. It makes me remember a lot Fable, for example, and I loved Fable, and brings me sometimes to that time when I was playing Fable as a kid, and yeah, I like it. It's a very interesting design. The game is beautiful on its own way, but I like the way the game is designed in terms of graphics. I believe we need to start understanding that these kinds of things in early access games, these issues and some issues, people are complaining about some performance issues and things like that, are to be expected, guys. Once again, I'm repeating myself, but these things are to be expected. It's normal for these kinds of games to have these issues. This, guys, is intended as an early review based on the time we already played the game. For me, the game is looking good. For me, the game is gonna be a big game, at least if he can keep up people's interested with the hotfixes, adding content along the way, probably sharing a roadmap. We'll see. I have big hopes for this game, as you guys know. This game will be a game changer in terms of the survival genre. The voxel-based building is something massive for these kinds of games because it allows players to build whatever they wish. A lot of people are sharing their builds and contents on the net, on Reddit, on YouTube, and I like that. I like that people are into the game and are liking it. Guys, this is it for today. This is for this week. I thank you a lot, guys, for reaching out to me, for my subscribers. You guys have always a special place in my heart, as you know. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I will intend to improve on this review as we go deeper and deeper into the game, as we go deeper and deeper into the gameplay of the game, and of course, maybe even do some lore videos. This game has some lore to it. It's massive. I'm seeing that now. We have some chain-like stories that we can follow up. For sure, we gonna have some lore videos here on the channel. So yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you saw this video until the end, and if you like my content, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. And of course, if you want to see something different here, consider leaving a comment. I'll for sure consider it, guys. I read all my comments and I tend to respond to all of them. So yeah, go ahead, leave a comment if you see that you want to see something different or if you have a different opinion from myself. Thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you again on the next one.